Hello, and welcome to my channel. I'm Mandi Grace, author of 10 young adult novels so far, 8 of which I am rewriting this year. Welcome to vlog 3 of that adventure. Also, I apologize for the loud noises. The water heater situation over here is loud, the laundry's going behind you, there's a lot of noises. Also, my 1-year-old nephew is like causing chaos in the playroom. Who knows? I am 5 chapters into, well, yes, I am 5 chapters into the rewrites. That's 4 actual chapters, 1 prologue. What are you doing? The 1-year-old nephew is here to say hi. Dude, don't pull things off my shelf. If you missed vlogs 1 and vlog 2, quick recap. I published my original Robin Hood series under the name Amanda Grace versus Mandi, and now I'm publishing everything under Mandi. Goodness, talking is hard. Bubs, can you be quiet? That'd be great. So, as I unpublished the Amanda Grace books and moved them over to the Mandi Grace brand, I'm taking the time to rewrite them because I am embarrassed by many of the original Amanda Grace books because I started writing them when I was a teenager and it's not great writing and it's a mess. So I'm fixing them up so that I feel better about them so that when they come under the Mandi Grace, name, I will happily promote them and not like pretend they don't exist. Which is kind of what I've been doing with the Amanda Grace books. We just don't talk about them. So basically, I'm on chapter 5 right now. I am going chronologically. I'm reading through the original version, one chapter, one scene, really, at a time. I read it and then I decide if it's worth keeping or if, like, pieces of it are worth keeping at least. And then I go to the new document and write the new version. I've also been adding scenes for one of my main characters. Yeah, named Lucy. So I, have been just picking random places kind of to throw scenes in for her. I'm trying not to make it random, but like it feels a little bit random because she's not in the original version this early in the book. So that's just a whole adventure. We have a couple new candles, so I'm going to use one. I'm going to use the one that says it crackles as it burns because that sounds fun. I don't know how focused I will be. Yes, you can say hi. Don't panic. Don't know how productive I'll be this hour. Okay, was on 2 prickles today, but instead of moving forward in the story, what I actually did was read over these 6 chapters that I previously have and make some quick edits and adjustments and then send them to my critique partner. So, kind of forward movement, but not really. Also, we've been stuck on chapter 6 for like a week now, which is really making me fall behind on this like strict schedule that I have, going forward, but it's fine. We still have some wiggle room in order to get done in January, but I'm really cutting it close right now. Like, we can't keep going on with chapter 6. We need to finish chapter 6. In my defense, I've made progress every day so far, except today, when I went back and reread things. But I could still make progress because I basically have the day off, so I can make progress. Anyway, point being, I've edited at least 3 chapters every day that I've sat down and worked on it, so we're making forward movement. It's just maybe not quite as fast as I was hoping, but it's gonna be fine. I'm actually very, very interested in the whole Enneagram thing tonight. When I tried to do it for my characters, I was not satisfied with what came out for either of them. But I'm very interested because in the original Lucy's Legend, there wasn't really a whole lot of like the emotional character arc of like, the characters reacting to things and being affected by them and then changing because of them. Like, the events were just happening in the original story, so I've been trying to like dig out what is really going on underneath the surface, and it's been a struggle. So, I'm interested in tonight's thing, and hopefully that will help, because in the new Lucy's Legend, I'd like that to be slightly more prominent, just like, all these things are happening to people. But both of my characters came out as 8s, and I was like, I don't buy it. So I I want to go read all the core fears again, but for my characters this time and see. Except that because in the original story, like, that wasn't really present. So then I'm like, I don't even know if I know their core fears, but anyway. We are halfway through chapter 7. Which is great. I feel like we've made forward progress again. I feel good about it. Also, I was able to edit the previous first chapters a little bit and, like, spruce them from what I've rewritten and then send them to my critique partner. I am still having some struggle trying to pull out the emotional arc of both Lucy and Marion, my main characters. My niece is stealing popcorn. Go ahead, take a piece. You're fine. Anyway, I'm having troubles with it. But in my writing group, we are actually having a workshop. Yep, take the popcorn. We are having a workshop tonight on the Enneagram, specifically for characters. I do think if I knew the Enneagram type for Marion and Lucy, it would be easier to draw from that, because then I would know their core fears and what they strive for, what they want from life. Like, the Enneagram types have lots of information. It would make a great character profile. However, I don't typically do tests like that for my characters because they just don't really work for me. And then, yeah, I just don't know. I know my Enneagram type. I'm type 9. I'm the 9est 9 you are ever going to meet. I don't know what's happening out there. It's fine. It's my day off. But anyway, yeah, I do know my type, and I do love, like, reading about the Enneagram types and stuff, you know? I mean, I don't take it, like, insanely seriously, but, like, I do enjoy it. But, yeah, I just don't normally do tests like that for my characters, and I did take the test provided within my writing group, and both Marion and Lucy came out as 8s. One of my best friends is an 8, but I can't really see it for Lucy. Marion, maybe. I could maybe see it for Marion, but I just don't like it for Lucy's. So what I'm going to do, because we have the workshop tonight about Enneagrams and our characters, we're going to have an Enneagram coach on who's going to, like, walk us through things. Listen, if you are a female writer and you need a writing group, Quill and Cup is the one to join. We're amazing. Also, we have, like, fantastic workshops and things every Monday night. But anyway, the point that I was making is, I'm going to briefly stop writing on chapter 7 and focus on reading on Enneagram types. Not taking tests for Marion and Lucy, but rather just reading over the core fears and values and things, and finding which one I feel actually fits for Lucy. And Marion too, if one fits better than the 8. And then I'll take that information to the prickle. Oh my goodness, the prickle last night left me with so many ideas brimming. The biggest takeaway I came away with was that Marion is an 8. Not as strong as some other people. So reading all the 8 stuff, like, all of it was making me think of Guy so much. All of it. It was breaking my heart. He's such an unhealthy 8, and I was crying and was like, my baby. But anyway, that's not the point. Marion is an 8. Lucy, I think, is a 1. That feels very accurate. You know, the desire to be good, the fear of being evil or corrupt, like, it's all very in line with Lucy. But the one major thing with Marion, with 8s, because they are so focused on protecting themselves, also the people they love, but, like, not being as open and vulnerable so that they don't get hurt. Betrayal is a big deal for them. And in the original story, when, spoiler alert, someone betrays the gang, yeah, she definitely reacts to it in the way that I personally would, like, seeing the best of the situation, trying to understand the traitor's point of view and, you know, why he did what he did, and, like, much more positively than Marion as an 8 necessarily should. So that was interesting, and actually thinking about it and, like, processing not just the character profile of the Enneagram, but also just Marion in the books. Like, it would make more sense for that to bother her on a deeper level. So we're going to address that in the rewriting situation. We're also, this is going to be great for Lucy, because Lucy has always been a Mary Sue. She has been my, like, ideal person that everyone should be forever and always. Lucy was, like, the golden child, and she had no faults, which is a problem. And it's a problem anyway, but it's more of a problem now that I'm making her a main character, because in the original story she just sort of appeared halfway through the book, and there she was, being perfect and everything. But in this one I've been adding scenes to, like, follow her the same way we follow Marion. So she needs some faults. She needs a flaw to overcome. She needs that, you know, that misbelief. And I was stumped as to what that would be, because Lucy is perfect in every way. So the Enneagram is actually very helpful, because she's a 1 in almost every way, except for what they typically struggle with, because Lucy has no flaws. So it's actually been really interesting to be like, how am I going to insert some of these, like, things that 1s struggle with into Lucy so that she has something to overcome. Like, this, as a character profile, the Enneagram has literally everything you need to make a blueprint for a character and then craft a plot around it. Like, it literally has everything. So for me, it's just fitting my characters into one of the types, which has been a little bit difficult, mainly because I crafted these characters without this blueprint, so now trying to, like, put them into it has been interesting. Marion's an 8, but not as 8 as Guy, who is, like, the 8est 8 ever. Literally every sentence about the 8, I'm like, ugh, it's Guy, and I love him. He's my baby. Anyway, it's actually made me very, very excited to go to his story, the story of Gisbin, but that's the 5th one, so I'm not supposed to be rewriting it until, like, 5 months from now. But I really want to, because this is him. But because I know him so well already, and I already rewrote his book 5 years after I initially wrote it, I don't think I'm going to need to rewrite much. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to read the book and be like, yep, he's an 8. Doesn't change how I wrote it, but he's an 8. But anyway, I do think knowing Lucy is a 1 will help, because, like I said, everything fit into 1 except for the flaws, because she has no flaws. So, adding the flaws into the story, perfect, wonderful, I can do that. And then, with Marion, just changing that, like, dynamic of the betrayal, I think, will make her read as a more realistic person, rather than, like, being betrayed and then being like, oh, it's fine, it's whatever, everything's fine, we're fine. We're all 9s here, we're peacekeepers, we don't care. Yeah, I do feel like Marion's response was very me, and had nothing to do with Marion's character whatsoever. I've been trying to fit the other characters into types as well, just so I have that kind of blueprint with all of the information you need to craft a plot. But it's been difficult. So, I know Guy, but I don't think that's going to affect the story necessarily. The rest of them have been more difficult because I guess they're not as well-rounded characters. That's my assumption. I know Robin's a 7, but that's not necessarily helpful in any way because he's not the main focus of any of the stories. I had a Robin Hood retelling and he's not the main focus. This is a theme because in my King Arthur series, King Arthur literally doesn't matter. But anyway, yeah, I mean, Robin plays a much bigger part in my Robin Hood series than King Arthur does in the King Arthur series, but we don't need to talk about that. Anyway, Robin's a 7, but it's not very helpful information. So book 2 is about Much, who I think is a type 2. I'm gonna have to do more research on that. I say more research. I read every single type and, like, all their, like, accompanying information, like, 10 times last night, before and after the prickle. I don't know. I think he's a type 2. Much seems like a type 2. Book 3 is about Dusty. Literally no idea what she is. She might be a type 1 like Lucy, but, like, it doesn't feel right. So I have literally no idea. And then we have book 4, which is Alan, and I have no idea what Alan is. Not even the slightest clue. I kept rereading the types yesterday and being like, do any of these sound like Alan? No, they don't. And also I kept hoping and expecting someone to fit into a type the way Guy does, because every single sentence is like, yep, Guy's an 8. Yep, Guy's an 8. Yep, Guy's an 8. So, yeah, he's kind of my only character that does that, which makes me think he's the only one in the original Robin Hood series that had any sort of, like, you know, well-rounded character progression whatsoever. Like, he's the only well-written one, is my feeling. It's fine. He also happens to be my favorite, so that might have something to do with it, and I don't know. I know him really well. And he's an 8. In the most unhealthy of ways. Oh man, when we get to that book, I'm going to read the 8 and just, like, probably stop every sentence and just stare at the camera and be like, do you hear this? This is gay. This is so gay. Anyway, we'll get there. Like 5 months from now. So, this is the end of Rewrites Vlog 3, Part 1. I filmed the Rewrites vlog, and then I edited it all together, and it was over an hour long, and then I pared it down to 40 minutes, and then it was difficult to keep chopping things because I wanted you guys to see the whole experience, you know? So I've decided to split the vlog into 2, because I don't like 40-minute vlogs. They don't make me happy. So, I'm splitting it into 2, but I had already started filming vlog 4, and I don't want to have to refilm vlog 4 in order to make it vlog 5. So, what we're doing is we're just making the Rewrites vlog 3 into a 3-part 1 and a 3-part 2, so this is the end of part 1. Part 2 will be coming soon.